Good afternoon and welcome to this show, Career Bytes. Today's guest is a distinguished HR leader, Dr. Ankita Singh. Dr. Ankita is Senior Vice President and Global Head HR, IT, Admin, and Travel at Signex, and she's also founder of HR Association of India. Previously, she has worked with Datamatics, Hexaware, Genstar, Convergys, and Sahara India. Dr. Ankita has over 22 years of progressive experience in managing and leading various aspects of human resources, spanning across high-paced business domains of ITES, that is, Information Technology Enabled Services. Dr. Ankita holds a PhD in management and is a gold medalist in BBA as well as MBA. She has done HR and business strategy related executive management programs from IIM Ahmedabad, ISB Hyderabad, and XLRI. She is a certified PPA as a Thomas profiling practitioner. Apart from this great recognition, Dr. Ankita Singh also successfully completed one of the most prestigious certification from Harvard Business School in online mode, that is sustainable business strategy. Dr. Ankita has excelled in establishing innovative and competitive initiatives and institutionalizing a strong performance-driven culture at Signex, which has resulted in the company being certified as a great place to work in 2017-18, 18-19, 19-20, and 2021. An amazing feat indeed. She has been awarded by Forbes India and Great Magazine Institute as top 100 people manager in India for 3 consecutive years, 19, 20, and 21. She has been recognized in different prestigious platforms for her contribution excellence in the field of HR and leadership. She was awarded Woman Leader of the Year, Gujarat Icons 2022 by Times of India, Asia's 100 Power Leaders in HR 2022, APG Abdul Kalam National Award 2021, Women HR Leadership Award 2021, Global Women Award 2021, 40 under 40 for the year 2021, CHRO of the year 2021, 20, 19, 18, and 17. Great indeed. Woman Personality of the Year 2019 and 2018 by Femina. Business Person of the Year 2020. Most Influencer Corporate Personality 2019. Indian Businesswoman of the Year 2019. Indian HR Champion of the Year 2019. Woman Leader of the Year 2019. Inspiring Personality of the Year 2019. Most Influential HR Leader of the Year 2019. And Best Employee Engagement Project Designer of the Year 2019. Not only that, Dr. Ankita is very active in supporting social causes by working closely with various NGOs on child education and development. In addition, she is an avid traveler and a passionate photographer. Thank you so much, Dr. Ankita, for being here. Today is Tuesday, a working day. You must be having so many things on the plate, but you have chosen to spread positivity by being here. Thank you so much. I thank you so much on behalf of myself and my audience.
Thank you, Dr. Jan, for inviting over. It's a pleasure. Have gone through your profile. You're doing amazing work and really happy to be part of your initiative. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Dr. Ankita. I strongly believe in a strong foundation. The series of success that you are having must have its foundation in college years. So may I know about your college years?
Yes, I mean, probably too much of experimentation and, I used to explore a lot and that reflects in my career today as well. When I talk about my college years, I started with engineering, and after 3 months of engineering, I literally absconded from the college and I decided that I would want to do something in management and took that risk, joined a management college, did my BBA, and started working. A little later, realized that I have been awarded as a awardee for governors gold medal was given to me, and that triggered that why not go ahead with the MBA and uh, know theoretically, practically, little more about the field I plan to pursue, and that's how it all started. And since then, the journey of last 22 years, it's been in management, being with people, working with people.
Wow. And what led you so doing so many things so early in your career?
But as I said, I think I always believed in experimenting and knowing a little more than what is actually in front of your eyes. And that was it. Because once you start doing something, you learn that particular skill, you get to know about that particular profile. And once you reach a level where you know that it is going into a semi-auto mode, probably you would want to learn a new skill set as well. You would want to explore a little more, knowing your capability, how much time you have in hand. And I think that was the base. I always wanted to um, create a more holistic profile for myself. When I started with HR, it was never HR as such. When I started in employee engagement, used to jump into other profiles as well, asking other functional heads, can I help? Can I be part of it? So always very keen to know little more of what I can see beyond my plate. And that remains same. Even when I sit with my reporting manager today and we do performance review sessions, I think if at all he would ask me, so what next? And I would ask him the same question, what next? So what else can be given, which can be taken up by me, and probably I'd be able to learn and excel or perform in that.
Great. You're not only a great manager, but also you are associated with academics. That is the reason you have done your PhD, and you are also associated with certain university. You used to give lectures in certain institutions. So, what is the reason for associating actively with the institutions or academics?
I would say life has been kind enough. People around me, they've been kind enough to always mentor, support, and give right kind of information at the right time. You know, when sometimes you're not sure about your capabilities, the career that is right in front of you, you are not sure whether you should take that path or not. Probably you rely on people around you. And I was lucky enough to have great people, great mentors around me who could give right kind of decision at the right time. But with everybody, that window is not available. So when you have got so much from the community, when you have got so much from people around you, and whatever little you have accumulated within yourself or something that you have gained through your experience and whatever you have done so far, why not share? So I think I would not say it started long back. If you see, for last 5 years, I have actively started participating in these guest lectures or webinars, or taking these master classes for students, or for NGOs also, where I am now as a mentor or advisory board, so that whatever little bit you can give to connect this corporate to campus, that can be rendered from my end. So that's the intent. And I I would say still I have reached just 20% of the contribution that I want to make towards educational group. Working towards it, just want to give more of my available time to them, so that people who join us little later after uh, their college, they would be able to help.
Hello.
Hi,
I'm
welcome.
so sorry. The power went all of a sudden, and it generally doesn't happen. So I wasn't ready for that. I'm sorry.
No, that's perfectly fine. I think that's one thing we are all used to because of last 2 years.
Okay, so I'm sorry. I couldn't hear the last few sentences. Please.
So I was just saying that I have not done you know a place where I want to reach. Probably I have not reached that level. There's a lot more to do to enable students who are very soon getting ready to join corporate, and trying to do my bit, and would love to do more to them.
So I've had a quotation: when student is ready, teacher appears. So I think you are lucky enough to get teachers for you because you were ready.
I agree to an extent, yes, but I think we belong to a culture where a major onus or responsibility is on teachers as well. The probably students, they've still not seen the world outside, and getting them to a level where they start accepting that this is how the world is and this is how prepared I should be. Greater responsibility is on teachers. Instead of pushing, probably we'll have to use a pull factor where people start talking, or students start talking the same language, and they understand the same scenario that we are trying to explain.
So I can say the teacher in you is getting presented to the students who are ready.
Yes, I think so. It's very difficult to define ready in today's scenario. I mean, I don't know if anybody is ready for next 5 months or next 5 years, because we don't know where we are headed. We don't know where the world will be, what skill sets we would be working on after 5 years. But as I said, when you start mentoring, when you start talking to people or students, one thing that you need to ensure that they learn is that you need to be open and flexible to change. Things are changing, and as a teacher, that's the best thing you can do. That this is what is needed today, learn it. This is something which may completely change tomorrow, and just stay ready for it.
Dr. Ankita, you are a strong leader. And this is the region, maybe you have got so many success. So what do you think? Empathy, I used to work a lot on empathy, discuss about empathy. So how you think, what do you think? Empathy is an effective tool in the corporate domain?
I would not say corporate or personal. I would say when you're dealing with people, and primarily when you're working, you are dealing with people. When you are teaching students, you are dealing with people. When you are managing your staff, you're dealing with people. And in any phase of life or your professional or personal journey, when you are dealing or working with people, empathy is a must skill, and empathy has to be there. You cannot, I mean, you cannot be emotionless when you are talking to people. You have to understand their side of the story when you want them to understand yours. So yes, I would say it is very critical.
Actually, I asked this question because so many corporates believe that discipline is essential, and discipline and empathy don't go together. What is your say on that?
So thanks to technology, one thing we have all accepted, that there's no generic term or definition. It is very unique to individuals, right? Scenario or probably perception, assumption, everything will change when you are dealing with an individual. No generic equation would fit in for everybody around you. So saying that discipline and empathy would not go hand in hand, I think it's a wrong comparison. Those two things are completely different. Again, I would say when you're dealing with people, it's really important to know who they are. And like I've used the word unique multiple times, every individual is different. Sometimes if you're going to use same equation for everybody, somebody may fall in discipline on day one within an hour. Somebody would take years, because probably you have not understood the difference or how different people they are. So where to apply empathy, how strict you should be, how flexible you should be, a lot of things depend on the situation, circumstances, where you are, where the other person is, how you both are feeling, what's the need of the time. It it is not as simple, as a equation where we can say just 1 + 1 is equal to 2.
Great. So in your setup or in your organization, uh, do you follow the coaching ways? Because in Western culture, the coaching ways are being implemented in organizations very successfully.
Coaching ways.
Coaching way, I mean, there are two ways. One is the commanding way, another which coaching way. You empower your subordinates.
I think we follow participative way more than empowering or you know telling them what to be done. Uh, at least in our organization, we have removed layers. We have removed the culture of a reporting manager where a person is giving instructions and somebody below that individual is just following those. You have to be part of the team. If you are assigning a task, you also have to equally participate. You discuss it with people, you understand what you're doing. And then as a team, you decide that this is where we went right and this is where we went wrong. These are the hits and these are the misses. This is where we need improvement. And that, I mean, lead is one initiative which we have initiated in our organization, and which talks purely about this, that you can be a good manager or a leader if you are a team member first. So it's more of participative approach.
Dr. Ankita, if you allow me, we can go because the power is back again. So, and because it was not being live on LinkedIn or so. So we can go ahead on that setup. Just, it will take just a minute or two.
Sure, sure, sure. I'm very much available. Yeah.
Thank you. I'm extremely sorry for.
That's perfectly fine. You don't have to be.
Okay. So you are associated with certain universities. So do you also play a role in designing their curriculum? I mean, help them in designing curriculum?
Yes, there are 6 universities. I'm associated with them as a advisory member. And on annual basis, we do look into the curriculum and we make those changes or suggest those changes. Those are required to probably match the need of today or the corporate. And earlier it used to be again very generic, where you say that this will be the need of next year, wherein now um, all these colleges, they target few organizations, those would be coming for campuses, right? So knowing those organizations in detail, knowing their requirements and projects in details, the kind of work culture and the requirement they have, and keeping those things in mind, the curriculum is designed so that few of the basic needs are proactively met and students are ready for those particular organizations.
So these courses are related with management only or in general?
Those are management, support services or enabling functions like HR, marketing, travel, also technical side, which are the skill sets, because though I am from HR or business enabling function, but the colleges with which I am working as a advisory person, obviously if they have a technical stream as well, we do connect them to our technical leaders, or when we talk to the organizations they have targeted for next year campus, we do check with them for the technical requirements as well. So it's more of the entire college package.
Okay. Coming to the management, when a person is on the stage of choosing the specialty, I mean HR or finance or something. So who should choose the HR domain ideally?
Very, very difficult to answer this question, Dr. Jain, because if you ask me when I started, I had no base as such to go with HR. You want to be a part of the organization, that's the first priority. And I'm sure a lot of students, they would say, oh, so today I get into HR, great. Otherwise, I'm okay with marketing as well. So because they reach that level, the inquisitiveness and the urgency to get in the corporate world is humongous as on today. But when we talk particularly about HR, I think if you are able or if you are ready to invest your time in understanding people, when we talk about people analytics, when you know that you'd be working in and around people, for people, by people, with people, it's going to be, it's not a defined journey. Like technically, you cannot sit and probably code and you are done for the day. Maybe one person would walk up to you and he would have one query, second person would have a different query, probably same question put across in 15 different manners and 15 different personalities to deal with. If you have patience, or even if you don't have, but you are ready to invest your time in that kind of profile where you do not walk in thinking that I'll just release offer letters or do appraisals or just follow what is written as a guide for HR, but I'll take a holistic picture where organization is going, what's the expectation, where we as an organization want to see our people after 5 years or after 10 years, what are the future skill sets, which are the departments which are connected, will I be able to connect with each department and do what they expect from HR? If that kind of mindset is there, I would say people can take HR. But again, Dr. Jain, it is purely the answer is purely is coming with the experience that I have already gained. I can see what all we do in HR. But if you ask me, Ankita, when you were an MBA and why did you choose HR? At that point in time, I think people used to say, oh, if you love people, if you want to, if you love talking, if you can deal with people, you should join HR, which is not the truth. But the best part is if a person is ready, flexible, like any other skill, within few months you can master it as well.
Because each of these domains, HR, marketing, finance, etc., each, I think natural talents play a huge role. I think you should believe on that. And like nowadays in engineering, I used to be principal of engineering college. Most of the students, rather 80 to 90% of students used to say, I want to go in software. Why? Because they're going providing a very good package, the environment there, things like that. People don't go deeper to find out what they are good at. And it happens sometimes, you have seen in Bangalore, sometimes people after 2 years, 3 years, 5 years left that software job and do something else. That's why I asked the question. At the time of choosing the domain, I think people should look what they are good at and what they have natural talents for, and then choose. So,
So,
but
Dr. Jain, just to add, I mean, when we did our MBA program, there just used to be a summer internship, right? Few
yes,
months or 3 weeks, sometimes 2 weeks. Now, when there are so many opportunities and now you can do it online as well, we have been suggesting students that whenever you are confused, that's one stage. Otherwise, also nobody is stopping you from exploring. If at all it's HR or marketing, while you are doing your MBA, who is restricting you to one internship of 2 months? Why can't you just do multiple internships, even if you're not submitting those papers in your organization or in your college, just for experiencing what they actually do when you are in a team, when you have a role, concrete role to play? Why don't you do that? Probably when you have done 2 weeks or 2 months of each of these functions profiles, at the end of the day, maybe that's not a perfect decision, but at least you'll have a fair idea that these are the four options and I enjoyed this one the most.
that's really interesting. And as you mentioned in the beginning, that one of the regions of your successes is exploring, doing things different kinds of thing and exploring things. Yes, that's true.
It's more like, a buffet. You go to a marriage function and you always had curd rice. You just try and you say, oh, food was okay, nice. You didn't even try. I mean,
Yes,
please
yes.
eat other things and you would know probably there's something better. And same goes in life for most of the things. There's so many options available, but sometimes we just stick to our comfort zone, and which restricts us from realizing a better world which is already waiting for us as per our capability.
So many students after completing their engineering degree go to the management. So do you think engineers become a better manager or it doesn't matter?
I would say manager is somebody who would simply manage, and anybody who is not even doing management course, they would end up learning how to manage a team or how to manage a project. The difference is, you know, whether you go for a management course or not, if at all you have started with your engineering or engineer profession, after some time you would not always be a developer, right? You are going to become a lead, you will then be a manager, then a delivery head, and things would go up. If at that time also, if you feel that core knowledge itself is enough, you don't care about people working for 15 hours, you don't care about a female who is on maternity leave and who is asking, for one more month of extension. If you can't consider those things, it will be difficult. But can I put a quote to it that people who have done MBA courses only they have become great managers after engineering? Probably not. A lot of them have failed because, as you rightly said, a lot of it is within us, right? We cannot change our basic nature. And there are few people who would have not done any MBA course, who would have not attended probably any internal training as well. But they have always dealt with people as humans. They have always understood their stories. They have always valued their people. And things would go really well. And they would be able to manage people as well as work beautifully. So, not a mandate. I think it depends on the personality and situation as well.
So good. Maybe I don't know whether you have gone to campus placement or not, but your juniors must be going for there. So what they look for by choosing the freshers?
I have also gone, and I think when we meet people, uh, when somebody would walk inside a room, the first thing at least that I would notice is how happy or how pleasant that person is. Because whenever you are entering an organization or you're working with a team, it's really important that you spread positivity. I mean, nervousness is obviously, I'm not saying a person can't be nervous, but you can't be negative about everything. Oh, I won't get this job. Oh, I don't know this. Instead, I want to get this job and I'm open to learn is something which we would all be open to. So there are a lot of times where when I have looked at the internship, um, duration or the topics, I was like, why did you do this? And what was the learning out of it? Probably the answer was very vague, not at all connected. But the moment you say, fine, you want to join this particular team, but there's a possibility that after 3 months, you may move to some other team. And again, after 6 months, some other team. And if the person says, oh, yeah, I would want to learn, I would want to grow, I would definitely want to see where I fit in best, that that clicks. So I would say, if you ask me, one would be the overall vibe. Second would be communication for sure, because be it collaboration, coexistence, anything and everything, dealing with people, communication is must. And third, I would say flexibility and openness to learn. A person should be ready to play the role that is assigned or given, more like plug and play. Today you have to do this. Not saying that every day we keep changing our core skills, but at the same time, if you are needed somewhere else for a small duration, you should never shy away, or you should never say, oh, that's not my expertise. Instead, why not? There's no harm in learning, and I would be able to help.
So good to hear that. Like I'm discussing with you, I was discussing with an HR leader of IT company. He also told that they used to hire students who don't know coding at all, but they have the right mindset.
Absolutely.
That's
I
good.
don't know who says that. I think it's Simon Sinek that you know you can always invest and ensure that people learn skill set, but you can never put attitude or basic instinct in them. So hire people with attitude, skills anyway. Anybody, any individual who has cleared all those uh, engineering and management uh, colleges, they have passed their exams. Trust me, they'd be capable enough to learn any skill set.
Yes. You just mentioned Simon Sinek. So who else and who and which of influencers you follow?
I think I follow him blindly, I would say. I have read almost all his books, and um, if at all I have to quote just a one, probably he would be the one. And I live by his book, Start With Why, because I think that's so relevant in any phase, any day, any
Yes,
moment of your life. So I think yeah, he's a very good leader and very relevant observations and suggestions.
no doubt about that. I've read that book many times, and that everything starts with why. Of course,
Sure.
that's so important. If you
Absolutely.
know your why, what can be done? No issue in that.
True, true, so true.
So, any other book except of this book, everything starts with why?
I have I keep reading. I mean, I'm not an extensive. I am a reader, but I'm not an extensive reader. You will just find me hopping from one book to another. Um, every single day, probably a new chapter of some other book. So I would not say one particular book or any other writer that I can swear by, but he is one. Otherwise, if I just put the screen, I mean, I have lot of books, and that's the only thing I do when I'm not doing anything else. So, but to quote, I would not demean him by quoting another name in parallel.
Yeah, yes. So, any particular criteria of choosing book?
I think more of real examples. I read a lot of autobiographies. Like not many people would say I follow Mr. Obama or Priyanka Chopra or Neena Gupta, but I do that when I know a little bit about their life. I do get influenced by that. That if at all there were so many challenges, how still they managed to excel, how still they managed to survive, and I would just pick it up. So one is that those are story based or autobiography. The second criteria is something which can be implemented. Like when the day I heard about the title, Start With Why, probably a decision. There was no second thought. I said I have to read this book. So I think it's more on self awareness or general management. I would prefer picking it up and reading it.
Any particular quote that you live by?
I think it's by Richard, where it says that if somebody offers you any job, and even if you know that you can't do it, probably first take it and uh, then then decide. So you should never ever say no to anything without trying. So that's one of my favorite quotes.
That's amazing. Uh, do you have any personal mentor?
Personal mentor, mentor. I would not say because he's not a mentor as such, but my reporting manager, as I said, 17 years with the same organization, same people. I, like any other human being, I also got confused a lot of times, where to go, what to do. And he is one person I went to and I asked him that, this is what I want to do, but I'm not sure. And a small thing like heading HR and then taking care of IT services and IT, like, have you done any course? No. Any past experience? No. So what do you want to do? I just think I can try because the IT head is moving out. I would want to take up that responsibility. So as a mentor, as a guide, as a person who could believe in you, he said, yeah, if at all you want to try, so would I. Go ahead and try. And that's how travel came, then IT came, then admin came, RMG came, and then suddenly you realize that you have become a bigger part of the organization, because not only you were open to learn, somebody else is there who has built that trust in you, who is ready to experiment, who is ready to let you do what you actually want to do. So I think he is one of the biggest mentor. And a lot of times as a mentor, we have a definition of having a very senior guy as our mentor. But I think a lot of my team members, I have direct reportees, 30 of them are working with me. And few of them, I just keep telling them that you are so close to being a perfectionist in certain things, like the way you manage your time, the way you manage your profile. If I get even 20% of it, probably my life would be much better. So how do you do it? Share it with me. What should be done? What should not be done? And it feels good that it's not just your reporting manager or your seniors, but it also your um, team, your direct reportees, who can mentor you on so many things. So that's why I initially said I have amazing, great people around me, and was lucky enough, I am lucky enough to get the right kind of inputs and advices from these people.
And I'm sure there must be few people in your organization that can tell that thing about you.
I think it goes both ways.
Yes.
As I said, that it is not a designation, mentorship or being a mentor. I at least don't take it as a designation or a profile. I strongly feel that if you have learned something, one is I feel it's right, and second is it is actually right. And if you know the difference, and if you
Yes.
know that it is actually right, and if you are ready to share that experience and story with other person who can learn from it, you have already become a mentor. So yes, there are a lot of people who have helped me, and I'm sure sharing my stories with them, they would have also picked up a few points for sure.
You just mentioned that it kept on adding responsibilities. So what motivates you to do that?
I think it's more like walking up the ladder. You started walking. Now decision is yours. You just want to stop at one place. Probably neither you will be here nor you will reach the top. The momentum is such. Talk about time, talk about life, talk about age. Everything is just continuously moving, right? You're adding up. There's hardly anything which is getting away from your life. Why not invest really well and in a progressive way in with your career as well? And that's the reason there was always this enthusiasm zeal that this is not where I want to stop. I would definitely take a profile. I would try and master that profile, but would want to learn something new as well. So tomorrow, somebody recently asked me, so okay, so you have now almost all support functions are there with you. Now you are thinking of taking practices. So tomorrow you want to become a CEO. I said, what's the harm? What's the harm? You have to know. I mean, anything today, probably when you talk about numbers, I may not be that strong, but in my appraisal discussion, I will tell my reporting manager that assign somebody or you sit with me and tell me how we work, because that's something additional that I would want to know, so that the more I know about the organization, the more holistic profile it becomes, it'll be good for the organization as well as for me. The moment I stop, probably I would attain an expertise, but what if after 5 years that profile itself is not existing? So there is a fear, a good fear, which is in my mind, which has always been in my mind. I always felt that anybody can be replaced, and to stay in organization, to have a sustainable system, you have to ensure that you reach a level where, if not it's impossible, at least it's difficult for people to replace you. So that's one thing which keeps pushing me, that learn more, be be more knowledgeable, uh, attend more sessions, attend more as in when you talk about education or when you talk about certification courses. I just feel that you just need to keep adding in.
It's so inspiring to listen. From where you get so much energy, how you strengthen yourself to overcome all these different types of challenges?
I think people, if at all somebody would say just one thing which would, twinkle around my head all the time, it's people. I have amazing set of people. They keep telling me very few would talk negative, or I think nobody behind my back, which I never come to know. But people with whom I interact, they have always been very positive. They've always been talking about how capable an individual can be. When I want to do something new, my team would say, okay, we will manage this. You just go and explore that one. And trust us, there will be no fall. So it would not that it would reach management and you will be questioned. We will take care of this profile really well. You go ahead and take up additional load. Similarly, if you want to travel, like you are passionate about photography and you're passionate about traveling, when there is too much of dependency of your team members on you, you probably cannot travel. Wherein people around me, they have reached a level where they give that comfort that trust me, if you're going out for 3 days, we will not disturb you. You go and enjoy. When I have to manage my kids, so yesterday the award that you just covered initially, the Times of India one, it was yesterday evening. Two of my team members, they were sitting at home with my 3-year old and I was attending function. Otherwise, I would have skipped that function because 3-year old is not allowed. And if there's nobody to look after, being a single mother, it becomes difficult. Now, when you want to do these things, when you want to excel in your career, you have a great reporting manager and amazing team to support. What else would you need? When you talk about your personal life, you have great parents and you have team which is no less than a family. So things are taken care. When you want to explore and pursue your hobbies, be it traveling or photography, anything, there are so many people, they'll say, fine, we are here looking after your daughter, you just go and travel for 10 days. My mom will come. So you have enough people. And when you have people to support at the right time, trust me, there's nobody who can stop you because every single day is a new day. You have so much in your mind that you would want to achieve. You have time, you have capability, you have people. Just go ahead and achieve. So that has been the scene with me for last 7-8 years. I have literally done anything and everything that I wanted to, primarily because of the support and the trust that people have shown around.
That's good to hear. And it's a win-win proposition you are doing for them. That's why they are doing for you.
Oh yes, yes, I think so. The ecosystem, yes, you have to reciprocate, and with people, definitely.
You just mentioned about the hobbies like photography, travel, etc. So you developed these things lately, or from the beginning itself, you to travel a lot, photography, etc.
I was always in some or the other thing. I think I was into sports or I was into writing, sketching, painting. Photography came a little later when we actually got these smartphones. That's how we started. I think everybody started photography. For suddenly, for so many people, photography became a passion. But yes, I think I was always into some or the other thing when I was studying, when I started working, and I was studying. But I don't think I ever gave away that side of mine. I enjoyed doing certain things, and I ensured that I kept some time aside to pursue those things.
To energize you.
Yeah, I think work also energizes me equally. Talking to people also.
Yes.
So a lot of people say, "What is your me time?" And I tell them that entire day is my me time because I don't think practically I'm doing anything which I'm not liking or that I don't want to do. So it's completely up to us the way we want to design
Yes.
and live our life. But I enjoy every moment of it.
A little while ago, you mentioned that performance appraisal. So when you sit for others to appraise, what you look, how you decide which particular person is eligible for certain promotion or salary raise or something like that.
So earlier in my career, I was once told that there is a ranking system as well. Who is better than whom? Which we stopped long back. At least, I have never done that. Whenever I sit with my team members, it is just about that individual. Where were you last year and where are you today? Where do you want to reach tomorrow? So that's how we start. When it is performance appraisal, primarily it's on the basis of your performance, which was for the last year. But a 3 or a 4 or a 5 also depends that what were the extra things, how good you were or great you were with your approach with your people, um, how much you could participate in other things, how much could you support other people, what new initiatives you took, what were the changes or what were the modifications you made in your profile. So as I said, when you're walking up, if you stick to one place, you are already at your comfort zone. But how much without somebody else's push you have actually thought through, and you have gone back to your manager, in this case to me, and said that, what, this is going great, but if I do these two changes, probably this will be better. These are the 5 things I'm handling, but these are 2 more things that I have identified and I would want to do. I am perfect with this, but these are the 2 certifications that I would want to go ahead. So it's more of proactiveness and preparedness, which I would definitely give um, more weightage to, in addition to the performance for the defined role that was already there for the year.
And as you mentioned a little while ago also that you follow the participative approach. So these kind of discussions go on entire for the entire year, or you discuss these things at the time of appraisal itself, or maybe monthly meetings or something on what kind?
So for the entire organization, we have a project review thing because we have short-term projects as well. So the moment project is getting over or the manager is changing, you have to do a performance review before the individual moves to other project. Otherwise, it's quarterly where you have to give feedback, and then annual is your when you collate everything and you come to a conclusion. With my team, I would say we never have annual discussions because every single day we are just talking. This is the feedback, and we keep documenting it. So though it's more of informal, I'll call them and I'll say, start writing, because every time I tell you, you keep forgetting. So start writing, and then that will go as a documented thing that you have to be more organized in your approach. So we keep doing those things on daily basis. Actually, if you want to ask how structured it is, then again, as per the process, quarterly anyway we have to do. And then on the D day, we decide and we collate the final thing. But on the D day, for my team, I think we just had 2 minutes discussion. That this is the increment that I'm proposing. If you're okay, this is the salary or this is your designation. Discussion mostly on that day is around these 2 things, because rest of the things, be it performance improvement areas, great things that they would have done by then for next year, because I think defining for entire one year becomes too difficult. So I keep telling them that this next quarter, this is what we will be doing, and this is what you would be doing. This is a new initiative which I want you to think about and come up with. So that happens throughout the year. With my team, at least on last day, we don't have an extensive discussion. Oh, I can see somebody there.
That's really good. That's really, I think this continuous approach, that's very effective, and I think that helps people to improve, to grow, to learn.
Next, Dr. Jain, what's his name? I could see somebody on the screen.
Uh, Buddy,
Buddy. Okay.
yeah,
Good to see him as well.
that's a part of my life nowadays. No.
Absolutely, absolutely. Should be.
Uh, uh, Going back to the college days, I'm sorry to take you back again, and because you are associated with certain institutions, university, etc. So, do you think if you look back again to college days, would you like to change something, or would you prefer the journey that you followed?
Uh, the college structure and the course structure you're talking about?
No, your choice. I mean,
Your choice, as in my choice of career or
Yeah.
HR. Uh, Again, difficult to answer because I didn't choose HR. I started, and when right after my 12th, when I started my BBA, I started working, and I worked as customer care executive. I worked in admin. I worked in travel team. I worked in HR recruitment team. So I did so many things. It and that circus actually continued for 3 to 4 years. It was only MBA first year when I joined Zensar and I started working with directly with the HR head, and I could see what actually beyond recruitment HR is all about. That's where I started developing interest, and I said yes, I would want to stick to it. But otherwise, very difficult. I would say if you ask me MBA after that, you would have selected HR or not. I don't know because I don't have an answer. I don't think I selected HR at that point in time.
So, what is your advice to the students at that stage?
Advice to them, I think they're much smarter than us, what we were. So it is very wrong. They'd say, oh, we know it. We know it already. And they have enough opportunities, more than what we actually had. The only couple of things that I would want them to keep in mind is communication is very important. Even if we are an expert, probably we know everything about a particular skill set. Tomorrow, when you are part of a group, when you're working, you would definitely be working with people, be it 2 or 100. If you are not able to understand what's the need, if you're not able to communicate, if you're not able to connect, probably you will later or sooner fail. So communication is really important. Second, don't stick to one subject. I remember when we used to do MBA, they used to say jack of all, master of none. And it used to be in sarcasm, but today I would say there's no harm. You have to be jack of so many subjects, so many skill sets. You have to know a bit at least of many, and there's no harm if at all your expertise is in one and you expand your interest in two more skill sets or two more functions. That's perfectly fine. Analyze your strengths, analyze your weaknesses. Don't go purely by trend. Don't go purely by somebody else's success or choice of organization. Know what is best for you and which will take enough research, be it about yourself, the um, culture outside, or the organizations or the industry outside. Do that. And the last one, I would say, stay relevant. Today I may feel that I have walked out of a great institute with some amazing numbers, percentage, 76%, 86%, and I have really excelled. There is a probability that whatever we have done, probably tomorrow, the existence or the relevance of the same would reduce drastically. So just stay open, stay relevant, know where the market is going, know what is the tentative future requirement, and never shy away from investing in it. Even if that's not the future, trust me, we have learned something additional, which will, in some or the other way, will help us.
And any suggestion for choosing the first job?
For
Choosing the first job, I mean, campus placement or off campus, it doesn't matter.
uh,
What?
to an extent, I answered that in the previous question, but again, I would say do a research. And as I said, because now a lot of things are online, if at all you have identified, for example, you have identified x company, there's no harm in reaching out to them and telling them that I would want to do a short-term project with you or an internship with you, 2 weeks, 3 weeks. Probably you will get to understand the culture, what kind of projects they have, what kind of support functions they have, who are the leaders, how they interact. So these doors are at least available, and we should make use of it. If at all those things are not possible, do a thorough research. At least social media is a great platform, big platform to know people and organization directly, indirectly from there. So invest really well. And the part which I said that I answered um, to an extent in the previous question was that don't follow what others are doing. Don't go by the trend. This is the organization everybody should join. Probably not. You have to apply your own mind, you have to apply your own preferences, your own capability, and decide for yourself. But trust me, if we are open, if we are ready to contribute, more than the organization, more than the profile, it is we who create our pocket or workspace better or positive or productive. Many a times we end up blaming manager is not good, company culture is not good, but trust me, company culture is for the for the entire company. That is not impacting us daily. It's not that every morning somebody is standing on your head and shouting at you. It is a lot of us. Is up to us how well we invest and how great culture or spare around us we would want to cultivate for ourselves.
Great suggestion, Dr. Ankita. Okay. You just mentioned about social media. So, do you like to respond to the professionals or maybe students or better job seekers on certain advices they may seek from you?
Yeah, we have been doing that. I'm not very active on multiple social medias, but LinkedIn, I'm very much active, and a lot of students and professionals, they keep reaching out to me through HR Association of India as well. And we have been able to help. At least I ensure that uh, I respond to all the queries and I connect with them. Sometimes it becomes difficult because the
I
use of
understand.
social media has to be restricted or it has to be very sensibly handled, right? Sometimes if you just text Ankita, also you are posting job requirements, why don't you take me for this particular role?
That's
So that sometimes becomes difficult, but I'm very
yes,
much
yes.
available on LinkedIn to help in all possible ways.
Thank you so much, Dr. Ankita. You have provided so many good suggestions, the guidelines. You spoken about the culture and growth mindset, etc. Thank you so much for being here and providing so much wisdom. I thank you so much.
Thank you. Thanks to you for giving this opportunity. Really enjoyed. Actually, you took me multiple times back to my college days. But thank you. It was lovely discussing it with you, having a candid chat. Thoroughly enjoyed. Thank you so much,
Thank you
and
so much.
wish you all the best. Bye bye.